Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you're on the podcast platforms, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a review. And if you are on YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing as well as hitting that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this conversation/reality chat. I just recently had a little chat talking about Wendyosefo of the Real Housewives of Potomac and that disgusting display that happened on this most recent episode where Mia threw a drink into Wendy's face. And in all honesty, with all that happened, I commend Wendy, even though I will be honest, she's not my favorite person. I don't dislike her. I have my thoughts on some things, but that's neither here nor there. I'm always doing my best to be on the side of right when it comes to a situation and not just going out for somebody because I prefer them over someone else. And it is clear that on this most recent episode, Gizelle and Robin, they are the types that do not operate in that way. They don't stand on the side of right just because it is right and against wrong because it is wrong. They are on the side of wrong if they favor the person who was in the wrong over the person who was in the right and try to justify the actions of the person in the wrong. But the reason I wanted to have this reality chat and conversation is Monique Samuels. She can't seem to just stay out of the Real Housewives of Potomac drama. I really would love to see her just not even talk about the show at all anymore, because if you watch the Love and Marriage DC show, I don't know how many times she referenced the Real Housewives of Potomac, but of course she didn't call it by name. She was like, that other show. So you come across as a hater or a scorned woman, but I wanted to talk about this because it's really sad to see, to me, that there are people who are thinking that Wendy is getting karma because she did not stand up for Monique when Monique did what she did. Listen, two things can be true at the same time. And I do believe in a way that Monique was using this situation to get back into blogs and make a statement about this to say that she warned Wendy that she was going to be next on the hit list for these ladies. But also, I do believe also that in the previous couple of seasons, Wendy, I believe, was wanting to be in with the in crowds a bit. I do believe so, because she displayed that on last season when, after she had her enhancements and her lifts and tucks and all of that, after she had her children and she wanted to do what she wanted to do for her body, which I'm all for. I'm not against that. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But it just seemed that she just had like a different air about herself, where she was just dropping it low when they were on the bus going to wherever they were going to at the time. And she just did seem a little bit different. And so I believe that the reason why she went off on Gizelle and Robin the way that she did was because she was really hurt to hear that they were talking about her when she felt like she was in with them at that point in time. So I believe a lot of the vitriol that Wendy had for them wasn't so much because it was them coming against her husband and her marriage. I believe she felt hurt by it because she felt like she was really in with these ladies, and they're not for anybody. I don't even believe Gizelle is all in for Robin, to be honest with you. But I say all of that right now because Monique, she made a statement, and this is the Neighborhood Talk exclusive, where she says she told Wendyosefo that her and her family would be next on the hit list, and claimed some of the women are real life miserable and she had every right to defend herself. Okay, definitely Wendy had every right to defend herself, but people cannot compare Wendy to Monique. Listen, because what Monique said was not the truth. Wendy had a drink literally just outright thrown in her face. Monique was, again, and I say this because I've said this over and over again, but she seems to keep bringing this up, and we have to remind her that the revisionist history that she's trying to do is just not the truth. You watch that back, you rewind the tape, and they even played it in slow motion. Monique, even though Candace was wrong to, do whatever you're going to do, slap me, Monique, and doing her fingers and hands or whatever, Monique touched Candace and grabbed her and was slamming that girl's head into the table, okay? And beating the back of her head. And by proxy, the glass that Candace already had in her hand, she was trying to break loose and she was swinging her hands, and that's what happened. So don't make yourself out to be the same as in Wendy's situation where Mia threw a drink in Wendy's face, and you, Monique, you were beating up on Candace's head, and by proxy, you got some wine dashed in your face and possibly got cut with the glass that was in Candace's hand. But Candace did not just throw a drink in Monique's face. That never happened. And Monique even admitted it that back then after she got herself together and claimed to her husband and the pastor of her church that came over to visit in that episode, whatever episode that was, that she owed Candace an apology. Wendy is never going to say that she owes Mia an apology, and she doesn't owe her an apology because Wendy did not do anything to deserve that. But there are people that are saying that this is Wendy's karma because she did not stand up for Monique. Honestly, at that point in time, she didn't know any of these people that well. Wendy, meaning, didn't know any of these people that well. So people can say, well, she didn't invite Monique to her child's whatever it was, whatever type of party it was that she was having for her child, and she did not invite Monique to it. And there were other things that even Karen said she wasn't going to invite Monique to. So Wendy wasn't the only one. So it's really sad that people are using this opportunity to slam Wendy and say, well, this is your karma because you didn't stand up for Monique. There was nothing to stand up for Monique about. Monique was 100% wrong in that manner. But it is true that Robin and Gizelle, they already didn't like Monique, so they used that as an opportunity to really go all out in terms of their feeling not safe around Monique, and they don't really feel like they want to be around her and doing their best to ice her out. But then you circle back to today, and they were on the side of wrong with Mia because they don't like Wendy at this point. And that is what I wanted to say. People really have to look at all of the details when it comes to this situation and not just slam Wendy and say, well, this is your karma because you didn't stand up for Monique. Monique did not deserve being stood up for. Monique was wrong in that situation. Is it true that there may have been some rumors being spread about her and whatever? It's possible, but again, that's the same as people saying that, well, Mia was saying things, and so Wendy should have just, beat her up, or vice versa. Mia was getting pissed off at what Wendy was saying, so that's why she threw the drink in Wendy's face. Those things are wrong as well. So Monique cannot jump in this conversation to try to make it about her or circling it back to make it seem like this is an identical situation. And it's like, yeah, it was me yesterday, but now Wendy is you today. And I warned you. When it comes to the gossip and the rumors and those different types of things like that, quite possibly. But Monique made a decision that Wendy did not make. And even with what she did do, which was literally just say some things, but not actually do anything in terms of laying hands on Mia, she may have said that she might have beat her, if she continued to stay in that house with her or those other women. So she needed to leave. She said some things in the heat of the moment, 100%, but she did not lay hands on Mia. Could she have? She absolutely could have. But she didn't. And even with that, with the things that she said, Johns Hopkins University had a statement at the end of the episode to say that they are not affiliated with the Real Housewives of Potomac. And just when I saw that, to me, that was like, whoa, I felt like that was really major. We'll see what's to come next of this, but I would love to know what you guys think about this. Do you feel that Monique had any place to really comment on this situation, or is she just looking for a moment to get back into the blogs? I don't feel that she shouldn't be able to have an opinion about the things that are being said, possibly, but Monique cannot put herself in the same position when it comes to the attack and the assault, because Monique was the aggressor and the assaulter in terms of laying hands, and Mia was the one who assaulted Wendy by throwing a drink in her face. So yeah, you may say, well, she tried to warn her, and maybe if she listened to the warning, she would not have had that happen to her. But I still want to say that Monique, to this day, just in her speaking about this situation, she is making it about her and saying how she had a drink thrown in her face. But the drink being thrown in her face was not the same as what happened to Wendy at all. Not at all. Because here's the one thing that she said, which gave me the response that I have. She says, I don't know the entire story, but I applaud Wendy for not getting physical as I did after I was hit in the face with a glass. And that's a lie. Period. She did not get physical after she got the drink and glass in her face. She was physical with Candace, and that happened as she was doing it. Period. So I'm sick of her saying that she did that after she got hit in the face with glass, because it's a lie. And she's never going to, apparently, she's never going to truly accept responsibility for what she did. And that's why there are a lot of people that are just really over Monique. So you guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.